Hey there, guys. Quick addendum to the commentary episode that you're about to listen to. This was originally supposed to go out on Monday, June 9th, but due to some processing errors in post production, is delayed to Tuesday. So, this is really giving you a bird's eye view of the production process and a little behind the scenes of Naked History. So, aside from that, going forward, all debriefs will be on Monday in between the main episodes of Naked History. So, saying that, welcome to Debrief. I'll let Past Dylan get back to it. Hey there, history nerds and curious weirdos. Welcome to Naked History Debrief, the companion commentary to our main Naked History episodes. Think of this as the after party, the extended footnote, or maybe just the drawer full of cool stuff that didn't quite fit into the main story. In each debrief, I'll be sharing some historical tidbits I couldn't squeeze into the regular episode, along with a few deep dives into strange coincidences, historical myths, corrections, and whatever rabbit hole I fell into while researching. You'll also notice that the title's a bit different, and even the podcast logo swaps out to help you tell them apart during your future binge listens. You're welcome, future you. Now, to keep things lively, we've got a few reoccurring segments, starting with a little something I like to call Naked Regrets, aka the moment I fess up to the fun facts, strange stories, and little corrections that didn't quite make the cut for the main episode, but were just too good to keep to myself. One of the things I love most about researching for Naked History is that the deeper that you dig, the more unexpected stories that you find. Sometimes buried in footnotes, sometimes completely unrelated places, and every so often you stumble upon something so human, so raw, that it just sticks with you. That's what happened with this next story. I wasn't looking for it, honestly. I was knee-deep in research about the 1904 Olympics, a chaotic mess of half-baked events and bizarre competitions, when I came across a moment from over a century later that stopped me in my tracks. It's not funny and it's not weird, but it is unforgettable. Let's make a quick detour to the Beijing 2008 Summer Olympics. You probably remember that year as the one where Michael Phelps turned into Poseidon and took home 8 gold medals. But tucked away in the weightlifting finals was a story that hits way harder than any barbell ever could. Matthias Steiner was a German weightlifter who had made it to the Olympic weightlifting finals, but he wasn't just competing for personal glory there. Just a year earlier, his wife Susan had died tragically in a car accident, and before she passed, he promised her one thing: that he would stand on the Olympic podium and win gold. But when the moment finally came, things just started to go wrong. His first lift was a mess. It didn't even count in the official scorecard. And just like that, a third of his chances had vanished. His second lift was better, but still not enough. That gold that he was chasing so hard was slipping away. And then, fate handed him one final chance. His opponent had faltered, opening the door for Steiner. All he had to do now was lift 258 kilograms. That's 568 pounds, clean above his head. That's more than he had ever lifted in competition. A bar so heavy that it could have crushed the dream right there on the platform. But Matthias wasn't up there alone. When he stepped up to the bar, it wasn't just his hands gripping the steel. It was hers too. Together, they lifted it, clean and strong and steady. And when that bar locked overhead, you could almost hear every heartbreak, every promise, every ounce of love explode into cheers from the crowd. Later, on the podium, Matthias held his gold medal, a bouquet of flowers, and a framed photo of Susan. He had kept his promise, not just to her, but to himself. It's a reminder that strength isn't always about muscle. Sometimes it's about memory, about love, and about lifting more than anyone thinks possible, because someone you love is counting on you. Steiner's story is a beacon to us all. It shows us that even through incredible hardship, we can achieve what we want most, no matter what is happening in the world, no matter how many people we think are stealing the spotlight. Every achievement, every personal victory is worth cheering for. And now, from the 2008 Beijing Olympics to the absolute chaos that was the 1904 Games in St. Louis, where the Olympics lasted nearly 5 months. Someone tried to win a marathon on rat poison, and America tried to invent a copycat sport. Let's talk about roque. That's R-O-Q-U-E, because in the early 1900s, apparently spelling rules just didn't matter. Stumbled upon this and genuinely thought, surely this is just croquet and they misspelled it. Turns out it's basically croquet's American cousin, only played on a smooth clay court instead of grass. Players use short mallets and rolled balls in a style closer to billiards, complete with the bank shots off the side. The name roque is literally just croquet, with the C and the T chopped off, because we just had to be different. Roque was so trendy in the early 1900s that it made it into the 1904 Olympics, and then never showed up again. It is both the peak and the footnote of roque history. Speaking of history, next up is This Week in History, where we zoom out from the weird to see what else happened in the world this week across all ages. First up, on June 9, 1973, American racehorse Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes by an unprecedented 31 lengths to capture the Triple Crown. He earlier had won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness Stakes to secure his title. Next up, on June 10, 1692, Bridget Bishop was found guilty of certain detestable acts called witchcraft and sorceries, and became the first person to be hanged during the Salem witch trials in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And finally, the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York held its first induction ceremony on June 12, 1939, with New York Yankee Babe Ruth, Detroit Tiger Ty Cobb, and Pittsburgh Pirate Honus Wagner among the inaugural class. And that wraps up our very first debrief. Thanks for joining me in the historical leftovers bin, which, let's be honest, it's where all the best stuff ends up anyway. If you enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes trip through time, be sure to follow Naked History wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review if you're feeling generous, and share the show with that one person that you turn to during history trivia. Next time on Naked History, we're headed into battle with the legendary Jack Churchill, a World War II commando who stormed Nazi-held beaches with a longbow and a set of bagpipes. Because sure, why not? Got a myth that you want busted? A bizarre historical moment you want us to dig into? Email us, or hit us up on Instagram at Naked History Podcast. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and stay naked, historically speaking. Have a good one.